part 2 of my Best in Beauty for 2023. I obviously described in the last video that it was going to be way too long if I decided to put it all in one video, so I'm just going to do a part 1 and a part 2. I think that's good. That's still less time and separate videos that I did in the past like 3 years, honestly, because usually I would separate it by category, but now we're just going to talk about all the good products together. So now let's jump into, well, I do want to just talk about, hold on one second. Let me separate the clip. Okay, let's get into my favorite powder blushes this year. There's 2, well, 3, but we have to talk about these first. And if you guys can guess these, it's pretty easy to figure out what my favorite blushes were this year. But again, I have to give it to Haus Labs. These blushes, oh my god, they are so lovely. They are so beautiful on the skin. I used the shades Pomelo Peach and Hibiscus Haze probably the most out of all my blushes in my collection last year. I used these so much. I think these came out during the spring VIB sale or maybe a little bit after that, but the shade Pomelo Peach was my most used blush last year. I am getting tired. I might film the lipstick portion another day because I'm really tired. But I'm actually wearing this one today, and it's just the most beautiful velvety formula. They are just so good on the skin, so pigmented. They last a long time. This was just my absolute favorite everyday blush color, and again, it has that like super velvety consistency. It's right there. And it's just the most beautiful peach shade. So y'all know I love that one. And then I had to pick up another shade. I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick up one. And then I went back to pick up the Hibiscus Haze shade. Because I'm like, I need to get a mauve pink. Because I just wanted to try one to see how I was going to like the formula. And I was like, okay, I'm in love with these. So I ended up picking up the pink as well. And I love the shade of pink because it's not too cool toned. It's kind of almost like a warm toned, deeper kind of pink shade. And it's so stunning. Again, this was probably my most used pink shade last year. I was reaching for this so much. Just the formula is so fantastic. And then the last shade that I have in it is Lavender Haze. And I was like, I have to get this one. It's such a beautiful, like, wild orchid kind of lavender. And this was the most recent color that she released in them. And I was like, that is, like, such a unique shade. I was like, I need that. I was like, I don't know how much I'm actually going to use it. And I used it so much with, like, my colorful makeup looks because it was just such a good blush shade to go with, like, blue and purple and like even pink eyeshadow looks. I absolutely love this shade. It's just so pretty. So I cannot wait to see what shades she releases next. I don't know if I'm going to pick up more, but since I have 3, I think that's a good amount, but you never know with me. So absolutely love the Haus Labs blushes. And then can you guess what my favorite blush palette was? And this, I think this was the only blush palette that I picked up last year, but I absolutely fell in love with this blush palette. Say it with me, you guys. The Blend Money Cosmetics Bare Cheeks palette. I cannot believe that I actually didn't pick this up when they first initially launched, because I believe they launched either early last spring or summer, or maybe like, because I remember they were part of like a summer collection, I believe, because they were released with their lip oils. And I remember the lip oils being like really vibrant, like summery shades. But I ordered this when I got the Forget Me Not palette. And I was like, I need coinciding blushes to go with that palette because I felt like I was going to use it a lot. Oh, nay. I used the crap out of the blush palette. As soon as I tried the first shade in here, I'm like, these blushes are fantastic. fantastic. They're pigmented. They're pigmented, but the Blend Bunny just has such a soft, beautiful formula that I could not put this blush palette down. I used it for like, I think again, like a week straight until I used all the shades. To be honest, the only shade that I haven't used in here is in the Buff, just because I feel like this is going to be too dark for me. Because even with the bronzer, like contour kind of shades that are in the Forget Me Not palette, I feel like they're still too dark for me because I'm so fair. But I almost want to use this as a bronzer, but I just feel like it's going to be too dark. But anyway, I absolutely love the shades that are in this palette. I've used Just a Touch probably the most because this is like one of my favorite everyday blushes now. And I've used the shade Baby Girl quite a lot because it's such a beautiful, cool tone pink. And then if I want a really vibrant red, I absolutely love Power Play. And then these two blushes. I love this one for every day. This one's a great summer color because it's super vibrant and super orange. They're just so beautiful. And then the two purple tones, oh my god, they're so stunning. I'm so glad that she put two peaches in here, but I don't know, just the way that this was curated and the gradient that you have in here, this is so good for so many different skin tones. Like, deeper complexions can use these a lot, but they can also use these shades too. Like, there's at least a good 6 shades in here that they could wear. Maybe these two are lighter, but they can always use those as like an eyeshadow. But I absolutely fell in love with this palette. They're just so buttery smooth. I'll swatch a couple, but they're like just as good as their matte formula of their eyeshadows because again, they're just so buttery smooth, so pigmented, so blendable. So this is making me blush. And this one is Baby Girl. It's just such a fantastic palette. I cannot stop raving about this one. I've used this a shit ton this past year. It's just my most used blush palette, and I absolutely loved it. Okay, so then my third favorite powder blush, and my favorite, probably my favorite luxury blush I've ever tried. These are expensive, but oh my god, this blush is fantastic. I mean, again, it's so expensive, but I absolutely loved this blush. And this is the Gucci Cheeks and Eyes Powder Luminous Matte Blush in the shade 02 Tender Apricot. And I would say this is a luxury formula. It has such a beautiful finish on the skin. It feels like luxury when you use it because it just has the most beautiful, soft, pigmented, lovely formula. And every time I put it on, I'm like, this is a luxury blush. So this is what the shade looks like. Honestly, it doesn't look that orange on the skin because it blends out so beautifully. I wouldn't recommend this because it's so expensive, but if you're willing to splurge, this is fantastic. My boyfriend actually got this for me for Christmas last year, so that's the only reason why I own it, because I honestly did not want to spend $50 on a blush. Like, my cap for blushes is like $40, and even $40 I think is a little steep sometimes. But this is so beautiful. I loved it so much. I used this a ton, like for any special occasion, like my birthday, his birthday, my mom's birthday, anything that I wanted to wear a high-end blush for, this was the blush I was wearing. I love it. It's so beautiful on the skin. And then the only other powder blush I have to shout out is this one from ColourPop. Of course, I have to mention ColourPop, but this was my favorite ColourPop blush that I got last year, and also the packaging. This is my favorite packaging out of all the blushes that I'm talking about. This is the Alice in Wonderland blush in the shade Oh Dear. This is like the most perfect cool tone pink for me. I was reaching for this so much. This is such a perfect spring blush shade for me. And these blushes were so popular. These were actually the first things to sell out in the collection because people loved the shades of these. You're not really going to see it here. It's right there. It doesn't really swatch that great, but it's just such a beautiful, not too super pigmented, cool tone pink. I absolutely loved this one. I was reaching for this so much when I first got it. I loved this one, and whenever I need like a good cool tone pink, that's the one I use. I love it. It's so beautiful on the skin. And then when it comes to cream blushes, I think these ones were my 4 favorites when it came to cream blushes. But my tip top absolute favorite one, this one blew me away. The Say ones were good, but I loved this one way more. Because when I watched Morgan Turner's video, because I watch her videos like for every comparison, she usually tries like almost every makeup product in Sephora, and she did like a battle of the cream blushes because over the summer, like every brand was releasing cream blushes, and then in the fall time, every brand was releasing concealers. But this one topped my list. This is still my absolute favorite one that I tried, and I'm talking about the, again, Makeup by Mario Soft Plopping, the Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in the shade Just Peachy. This is incredibly beautiful and such an amazing formula on the skin. It just glides on. It goes over anything. It goes over powder. It goes over without powder, but it just glides on in the most beautiful way, and it's so pigmented you barely have to touch the pan and barely have to swipe it on your face, and it's instant pigment and it lasts so long on the skin. It's such a beautiful formula. This is not even like, I don't know, it's just such a good cream formula. It's not like too thick of a consistency. It's just so beautiful, and it kind of has a bit of like a luminosity to it. It's that right there. Makeup by Mario just does it for me. I love his products, and this is absolutely stunning. I love it so much. So this is my absolute favorite cream blush. And then the other one, this one is, oh my god, this one took me a while to actually try. But when I actually did try it, I'm like, oh, now I understand why everybody loves these. And this is the only product that I've tried from Danessa Myricks. And this is the Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Skin Blush in the shade Jubilee. This isn't even like a cream blush. This is just like a unique, beautiful formula all on its own. I have never tried a cream blush like this. And it's such a beautiful color, but it has like kind of like a lipstick kind of consistency for your cheeks. And I think that's why it's so pigmented, but I could feel like this is the kind of consistency I could feel that like a lipstick would be in like the early stages of creating a lipstick. It's like the batter before they make it into a tube, I feel like, if that makes sense. But this is what it looks like, and again, it blends out so beautifully on my skin, but it's just so pigmented, and again, it just glides on the skin in the most beautiful way. By the way, I'm wearing Pomelo Peach on my cheeks today from House Labs. I don't know if I said that. Of course, I had to wear that shade, duh. But this is absolutely stunning, and I can understand why so many people recommended this to me. I was like, when I was picking up like all the cream blushes that one day in Sephora, I picked up so many blushes that day because I got like a payout, like a big payout from something. And the guy was telling me, like one of the guys that works there, he's like, have you tried the Danessa Myricks ones? He's like, those are my absolute favorite. They're amazing. And I was like, not yet. I was like, maybe at some point. And he was definitely right. This one and the Makeup by Mario blew my socks off. They're so amazing. And then the next one, I really, really like this one too. This one is so pretty on the skin. I also really liked the Halsey one. I really liked the Rose Ink one. But as far as the ones that really impressed me, I really liked the LYS Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush because I love that's a satin finish. It's just so pretty. So this one's the shade Kindness. This is such a pretty shade. It's not like too orange and it's not too like peachy tone. It's just a really, really beautiful shade. And again, I really love the consistency of this one. It's not too dark for me. It's not too light. I really love the color of it. And again, it's just a beautiful and blendable, lovely formula. So I absolutely love this one too. And then the last cream blush I have to talk about is that I have to talk about the Half Magic Beauty one. This is probably the first cream blush that I tried this year. And Half Magic Beauty, I think, was the first new brand that I actually tried last year. I was like, I have to finally try Half Magic Beauty, and all of their products absolutely blew me away. So I absolutely loved the cream blush that I tried. So this one is the Cheek Fluff in the shade Don't Be a Doll. And this is what it looks like. It's such a beautiful, like, terracotta-y, like, beautiful blush shade. And this one, again, is just such a good formula. It's just such a pretty, oh my god, that swatch is from Hunger. So I left off talking about the Half Magic Beauty blush in the shade Don't Be a Fluff. And like I said before, this was the year that I really wanted to try Half Magic Beauty, and everything that I tried from the brand, I really fell in love with. This is a really beautiful cream blush. It has a really nice formula. It's very, very nice, like everyday peach shade. I just thought it was great. I was really impressed with this, and I have continued to use it throughout the year. I think it's a great cream blush. And I only have one liquid blush to talk about. That's it for cream blushes. But I feel like this blush like didn't really get enough hype, but I actually think that this is probably the best liquid blush I've ever tried. I don't really own many liquid blushes. I think the only ones I really do own are the ones from ColourPop, and I like those too. I know some people don't love those, but I like them. But this is the Urban Decay Hydromaniac Blush Glow Hydrator in the shade Wrecked. So Urban Decay was trying to jump on the liquid blush train, but meanwhile they still don't have powder blushes or cream blushes at all, but they came out with these liquid blushes like this past summer or like August or September, and they actually are really, really good. Like I've said before, if Urban Decay would actually concentrate on just expanding their line, then they would actually have some good solid products. But that's what the shade looks like. It's just a really pretty, like, glowy, fresh looking blush on the cheeks, and I really, really liked it. So I tried to use this as much as I could when I got it, and I think it's great. So I really like it. So now let's move on to highlighters, and I only have a few to talk about. I honestly didn't really try too many highlighters that I like fell in love with last year, and when people say highlighter is dead, I just mentioned these highlighters and how popular these were. You could not find these for the longest time. They sold out like right away on Sephora, and I'm talking about the Rare Beauty highlighters. These highlighters are fantastic. Like, she has one of the best highlighter formulas in the game right now. And these sold out for good reason, because they actually are freaking stunning and some of the most intense highlighters that I own. And I think that they're gorgeous, and I ended up picking up 3 out of the 4 shades, because after I tried the first 2, when I finally did get my hands on them, I'm like, these are amazing, and I'm like, I understand why these are sold out everywhere, because they're super intense. So this one is the shade Enlighten, and this one is probably my favorite shade, and I will just show you guys why these were so popular. Is that, look at that, look at how sparkly that is, and then this is what it looks like on my hand. It's just, it's so beautiful and intense on the cheeks, and honestly, this is one of like my go-to formulas. If something like is not showing up like it should on my cheeks, I would just throw one of these over it, and I'd be like, done, you know, like, because I know I can always count on these to show up beautifully. I'm actually not wearing them today, but I was wearing the shade Exhilarate in my video yesterday for part 1 because I wanted to wear like my favorites of the year. But since I got too tired filming it, and also it was just getting too long, I was just going to mention it today, obviously. So this one is the shade Exhilarate, and this is kind of more like a light white gold. Enlightened's more of like almost a pure white, but it's not too stark. It's kind of a very light white, but it's not too, I was like, why are there people talking outside? It's like miserable out. But yeah, this is what the shades look like. These are definitely my 2 favorite ones. And then I decided to pick up the pink one as well, which is Mesmerize. And this one I wasn't as in love with, but it's still a beautiful pink highlighter and I still used it a lot. I just don't think it's as intense as the other 2. I kind of wish that this one was just a tad lighter because it can get a little bit dark on my skin tone, but I understand it's not as light as the other 2 because, you know, this is probably more so for like medium skin tones, and then she has a darker one that's like more for deeper skin tones. It's like a deeper gold, and obviously that shade wouldn't work for me. But this is a really beautiful highlighter too. These are just so amazing, and like I said, when people say highlighter is dead, I'm like, y'all remember these and how they swept the internet by storm? They were all over TikTok and they were sold out everywhere. Like, this was the one product that you could not order, that you could not get in Sephora for months. But they did restock them like every like other week on Sephora, and then they would sell out in like an hour. So, telling y'all, highlighter's not dead. And I absolutely loved those. And then I have to mention this one because honestly, I did not think I was going to use this as much as I actually did last year. I used this constantly whenever I needed a highlighter to just be intense and something that was super fun and colorful and sparkly and amazing on my cheeks whenever I went out. This would be like my going out highlighters. Like, and I got these at the tail end. I got this at the tail end of November, and I'm talking about the Blend Money Cosmetics Noctilucent palette. I believe that this was in my favorites last year, but I have to mention it again for 2022 because I used this so much last year. Like, I used this at least maybe 2 or 3 times a week whenever I was going out, because these are just the most beautiful, intense, amazing, sparkly duochrome highlighters that I've ever used. And again, Blend Money just knocks it out of the park with everything. But I had to mention this. I got this in November of last year with the All Done Up palette. And this palette is just fantastic. All the shades are so beautiful. I even went into this shade Dreamlike a couple of times, and it looks intimidating, but I don't know how they did it where this shears out on your cheeks and it's actually a wearable highlight shade for me. But these are all amazing. They're all beautiful, sparkly, super holographic, pretty much multi-chrome highlighters, and they're just freaking stunning. Sorry that the packaging doesn't really show you because it keeps on like reflecting off of my light, but these are fantastic highlighters. I absolutely love them, and I'll just show you guys why they're so good. Enlighten is definitely probably my favorite shade and my most used, but look at how blinding those are. And then I will swatch them. I almost dropped it. Let's not do that. But this is what they look like. Like, are you joking? Look at how intense those are. So this one is Enlighten and this one is Transient. And then I'll swatch that Dreamlike shade. But I'm telling you guys, this one really does sheer out. And it is like a beautiful, like deeper peachy highlighter. But it sheers out on the face. Like it doesn't really sheer out in a swatch. But I swear, I was using the crap out of these 5. Philomena's a gorgeous, like, pinky one, and Far Out is more of like a bluish tone one. And Far Out's more purpley pink, and then Apparition is a stunning, like, bluer one. I always get those two confused, but I'm telling you guys, these are phenomenal. If you're looking for super intense, sparkly, multi-chrome highlighters, and this is like $45. It's not even that expensive. And I'm like, I don't know how Blend Money does it by keeping it at such an affordable price point and making their formulas so damn good. So I absolutely love this, and I definitely see myself using this throughout 2024 as well. And speaking of Blend Money, I also really love the highlighters that were in the Forget Me Not palette. I'll just mention these really quick because ever since I got these, I was using these a ton as well. So I have to mention the 4 highlighters on the bottom here. These are so intense, you guys. Like, so super shiny. And again, if I needed a highlighter that wasn't really showing up well, I'm like, I'm just going to go into one of these, and they don't fail me every single time. They are beautiful. And they're so, like, they kind of remind me of, like, the formula of the Super Shocks by ColourPop, but they are so intense. They're almost like a cream to powder formula. It's much more of like a cream-like consistency, but that's what makes them so intense. So this one is Cheers, and this one is Butterflies. Like, look at that. Are you joking? So these are amazing. And that's mostly why I would use this palette, is mostly for the highlighters in here, because they're fantastic. But I didn't really use the palette as much as I thought I would. Okay, and then my other 2 favorite highlighters, well, I have like 5 more, but this one from Half Magic Beauty, of course, this is the Duochrome Glow Powder Highlighter in the shade Enter the Glow. Oh my god. This is so stunning, you guys. Like, when I first put this on, my jaw dropped because it's just so beautiful. Like, it's that kind of super buttery, sheer, amazing highlight that kind of is similar to the consistency of the Blend Bunny ones in the Forget Me Not palette. It's kind of more creamy, but this one is such a beautiful, like, goldeny, purpley kind of highlighter. It's so gorgeous. I wore it so much last year, and it just looks absolutely stunning on the cheeks. So I absolutely loved this one as well. And then the next one is by Rem Beauty, and I wore this one a crap ton last year. I don't know if I actually bought this in 2023, but I'm going to mention it again because I absolutely love this one. I think I bought it in like the beginning of last year. And I also bought it because Angelica Nyquist would just rave about the Rem Beauty highlighters. This is still my only product that I've ever tried from Rem Beauty. I was actually really interested in trying the foundation, but this is the shade Miss Mercury, and this is the one I'm wearing on my cheeks today, and it's just such a pretty, like, champagne-y highlighter, and I absolutely love it. It doesn't really do it justice when you swatch it. Oh yeah, actually it really reflects beautifully. And again, I guess I really liked those super metallic, super intense, shiny, light highlighters last year. And I mean, I do have a fair skin tone, so that's usually what I like. But this one is stunning. I love it so much. And then, of course, I have to mention this one from Odin's Eye. I didn't get this one until October, but I knew I was going to absolutely fall in love with it. And this one is the Soul Mane Moonlight Feel Highlighter in the shade Pink Star. And I absolutely love the one that I own. I forget what the shade is called, but I knew I wanted to get another one of these for the longest time. So I finally decided to get another one during when I picked up the Halloween palette from Angelica Nyquist. I was like, I'm just gonna order one of these two. Or actually, maybe I ordered I think I ordered it with that. This one is so freaking stunning, you guys. It's like a beautiful multi-chrome highlighter. You're not gonna see it in the swatch, but it's up here. It kind of shifts from like purple to pink. It is so ridiculously stunning on the cheeks. Again, if I couldn't get like another highlighter to show up the way that I wanted it to, I just would throw this on over it and it would have like the same effect as the Blend Bunny. Just super intense and beautiful and kind of like a multi-chrome highlighter. It is so ridiculously stunning on the cheeks. I absolutely love these highlighters from Odin's Eye. Okay, let's just wipe off some swatches. Okay, so we only have 2 highlighters left. The next one is by ColourPop, and this one I used so much last year. This is definitely like my most used ColourPop highlighter last year, and again, it's like that really light champagne-y kind of color. So again, I really fell in love with those, and this is the pressed powder highlighter in the shade You're Glowing. So I was kind of nervous when I picked up products from their Valentine's Day launch last year, because 2 years ago they released these heart-shaped packaging, like kind of like blushes, and they were so popular that they decided to re-release them last year and also release some new shades. And they also did highlighters this year, because the first year they only did blushes. And I think I told you guys that I absolutely hated the blush that I got because I could never get it open. The packaging was so hard to open. And then when they re-released these, they made the packaging so much easier to get open. I was like, okay, like, why is it I hope that they corrected it for all of them. But this is such a beautiful, like, light white goldeny kind of champagne color. It's so pretty, and this one is just super intense and beautiful on the cheeks, so that's why I use this like constantly. I loved it. And then the last one is, I think I picked this up later in the year, but this is stunning and I used it a ton when I first got it. So this is again, the LYS Aim High Pressed Powder Highlighter in the shade Brave. I just really wanted to try one of their highlights since I loved the blush and the concealer. And this is a beautiful light gold. And the reason why I wanted to try this one, it's so pretty. Like, it's not as deep on my cheeks, but I feel like this is such a great gold shade for like medium to dark skin tones as well. And I feel like they made this such a universal color to use for light skin tones as well. But I saw this in Riri's video when she was doing like her like everyday makeup drawer on like what she want, or like Shop My Stash. And she talked about this highlighter. And as soon as I saw her talk about it, and I think she swatched it, I'm like, I need that. I'm like, it's so beautiful. And I'm like, she was 100% right, because it's so stunning on the cheeks. Okay, so now let's get into some lips. So we're just going to talk about lip products. So I think you guys know what my favorite lipsticks were last year. I didn't really try too many lipsticks last year. I wanted to make it kind of my mission to not really pick up too many lip products last year, and I only really have like 10 to talk about, so I think that's pretty good. But I picked these up, I believe, during the VIB sale in November, and I fell in love with these so much that I had to get another shade. And I'm talking about oh my god. Good job, you freaking idiot. These are the Lawless lipsticks, and these are I don't even know what they're called. I think they're the soft plumping lipsticks in these like tube packaging. And I just fell in love with these. As soon as I saw these again in Angelica Niquis's video, I was like, I need to get these. And I was a little bit nervous because they were plumping, but they have the slightest amount of plump to them that they're not like burning on the lips. And they just feel so nice and cooling And they're just such a beautiful lightweight lipstick formula. I just fell in love with these. So this one is the shade Fawn. I wore this shade a ton. It's such a beautiful, like, light nude. And then the other shade that I wore a ton was Tropic. And of course, I had to get a peachy toned one. And this one is so pretty. I think this one's definitely my favorite shade. It's just such a beautiful peachy tone lip. And then the last one is the shade Wedding Day because I wanted to pick up a, like, lighter tone, like, pink. And this one is a very nude pink, but it's such a pretty one. But I absolutely fell in love with these. I love them so much. I wore them a ton. And then I think those are, like, really the only regular lipsticks that I have to talk about. Isn't that crazy? Like, I just fell in love with them. I love them. And then when it comes to ColourPop, of course, I had to mention the shade Appy in the Luxe lipsticks because I don't think I actually picked this one up until last year. I didn't pick it up until way after it launched. This launched so far back when, like, the Luxe lipsticks, like, first came out. But you guys know I absolutely love the Luxe lipstick formula from ColourPop. It's my favorite formula that they do. And their tube lipsticks are just fantastic. And this is the shade Appy. I was like, how do I not own this shade yet? So I picked it up when it was, like, I think it was, like, half price. And I'm so happy that I did because I wore this so much. It's such a beautiful nude. And then I also replaced my Cookie Lippy Stick last year. And I had to mention this one. The Lippy Sticks are also amazing as well. I love the Lippy Sticks, but the reason why I love the Luxe lipstick ones even more is because they're a little bit more lightweight on the lips. The Lippy Sticks are a tad bit thicker, but they're still beautiful, and that's actually what I'm wearing on my lips today. It's such a beautiful everyday nude, and again, I wore this a ton whenever I didn't know what to wear. This is a beautiful lipstick, and I actually have one lip crayon to talk about from House Labs. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's right here. I thought this was the other shade. And then I have, like, 2 lip liners to mention and a couple lip balms. So this is the Le Monster Matte Lip Crayon in the shade Honey Matte. Ever since I got the Peach Matte shade, I was dying to get another shade. So I wanted to get something that was a little bit more like a warm tone nude. And it's a really beautiful color. And I used this a crap ton when I got it. It's just such a good lipstick. I love the Le Monster Matte Lip Crayons. They're such a great formula. And also one of my friends picked up the Le Monster Matte Lip Crayon. And she's like, I love these so much that I want every single shade. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, she doesn't wear makeup as often as I do, but she really loves lip products and she wears mascara all the time. But she always wears, like, something on her lips and mascara, and she's like, I love these. And I was like, I told you, they're amazing. Okay, so now let's get into a couple of liquid lipsticks. But again, I don't really have too many to share with you guys, so I had to mention the ones in the Odin Dye and Halloween collab with Angelique Nyquist, and I wore these a crap ton when I got them. They are just such beautiful shades. So I have the shades Swamp Fog and Shadow Creature, and these are kind of like, they're liquid lip clouds, but I kind of felt like they were a little bit thicker than a lip cloud, but they are so good, you guys. I absolutely love this formula, and I wore these so much. And these are the 2 shades that I have. Why is this one, like, not swatching that great? They kind of get a bit, like, gritty, but they're so good. So this one is Shadow Creature, and this, wait, hold on. This one is Swamp Fog, and this one is Shadow Creature, but they're such beautiful lippies. I really, really loved these. And then I have one lip cream to talk about. So this one is the Patrick Ta lip cream in the shade She's Secure. I wore this so much. I think this lip cream formula is one of the best I've ever tried. I like these a lot more than the ones from Makeup by Mario. I don't really like the lip suedes as much as the lip creams from Patrick Ta. It's just so lightweight and beautiful on the lips, and it's a great nude for me. And then I also excuse me, oh my god. And then I also really liked the lip cloud that I tried from Glossier, because remember I said that I really wanted to try some products from Glossier, and this one is the shade Curve. And this is a really nice lipstick as well. Really lightweight on the lips. And I wore this a lot as well. I thought it was a really nice formula. And I think it looks great on the lips. So I really like that one. And then the next one. This one is more of an older product. But I didn't try it until last year. And I think it's great. So this is the Urban Decay Liquid Lip Color. These are their lip bonds in the shade Safe Word, and this is so nice on the lips as well. It's kind of more of like a creamy liquid lipstick, but it does dry down, and it's really nice on the lips, and it feels really good on the lips as well. It's a really nice formula. Who is talking to me? Somebody talking to me? No, nobody. It's just all spam. Okay, and then the other lip cloud that I really liked was the one from Half Magic Beauty. This is so good. I love this formula. So this is the Mouth Cloud Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Mr. Cheeky Pants. They're just such cute names from the show if you watch Euphoria. And this one is just a really beautiful, again, liquid lip cream. And I love it. It's such a good formula as well. So nice and lightweight on the lips. And then two more lipsticks. Well, I think I tried this one in 2022, so I'm not going to mention that one, but I do have one more lipstick to talk about. I know I'm all over the place, but this is the Give by Gwen Stefani lipstick in the shade Original Me, Lovable Me. Oh my god, this formula is so fantastic. Again, I tried this formula after I watched Angelique Niequist's video on how much she loved these lipsticks, because I don't believe I tried anything from Gwen Stefani until last year, because I think she launched like early last year, maybe that was like the end of 2022, but her lipsticks are fantastic. They are so good, you guys. And now let's just talk about two lip liners that I tried last year. I didn't really try too many last year, but again, I have to give it to Half Magic Beauty. This is such an incredible lip liner duo, and I use this a ton. So this is the Sculptitude 2-in-1 lip liner in the shades Ballerino and Hot Potato. They are just, this is just so ridiculously creamy, but it goes on the lips so well, and I love the shape of this lip liner pen, and it's just so good. I absolutely love this. And then the other one is the Artist Color Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine, and this is by Makeup Forever, and this is just such a good lip liner color. Again, I understand why this is so popular, but I think that these are great lip liners. I'm almost inclined to pick up like another shade because it's just so good. And then I just have, oh, I have another lip crayon that I want to talk about. And then I have a couple of like lip oils, because I actually tried a lot of good lip oils this year. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. So I have 4 lip oils to talk about. But I also wanted to mention these lip crayons, because I picked these up last year, again, from Tower 28. You guys know I absolutely love Tower 28, and oh my god, these lip crayons are so fantastic. I used the crap out of these, and then after I picked up the shade Mix, I had to pick up the light pink as well. These are so nourishing on the lips. I brought these to California with me, and I wore both of these a couple of times. And they're so nourishing, so lovely on the lips. So that one is the shade Mix, and they're so hydrating. And then the other one is the shade Shake, and this one is a light pink shade. Don't let the packaging fool you. They're very, very sheer, and they're just so beautiful, nourishing. That one is the shade Shake. It is such a beautiful light pink. And whenever I didn't know like what lip color to wear, I was wearing those constantly. And then the only other lipstick I want to mention is the one from the ColourPop Valentine's Day collection as well. And this is the Glowing Lip in the shade, what is the shade name? Candy Kisses. This is a really nice formula as well. I mean, everybody loves the Ultra Glowing Lip formula by ColourPop, but this is a really nice light pink, so I really loved that one too. Okay, so that is it when it comes to lipsticks. Again, not too many products this year. I'm kind of proud of myself for not like really overwhelming myself with lip products. So yeah, and then we just have 4 lip oils to talk about, and that's it. I don't really have, do I have any lip glosses? I mean, the only lip glosses I really picked up last year were the ones by ColourPop. I really don't need to mention those again. I tried not to pick up too many lip glosses last year because I'm like, I really just don't need too many. So really the only ones I picked up were from ColourPop. So now I want to mention one of the lip oils from Say. So Say came out with lip oils last year, and this is the oil glossy bounce lip oil in the shade Push, and I really loved this. I wore this a ton. It is just such a nice lip oil formula, and I like that it has a little bit of pigment to it. It's a little bit more pigmented than the ones from ColourPop. They're really good. And then also Milk Makeup came out with like a lip oil lip gloss hybrid, and I absolutely love this one as well. So this one's in the shade Explore, and this is so good too, you guys. Like, again, like kind of more of that lip gloss, lip oil kind of formula, and it's so nice on the lips. It's just so good. I absolutely love this. And I'm gonna put on a little bit on top. It's a little bit more pigmented, so it's actually really nice to wear just on its own. And I was wearing this a lot, but it's just so pretty. It adds like such a good like glossiness to the lips, but I'd rather wear it on its own. See, it kind of changed the color a little bit, but it's just so good. And then of course I have to mention Summer Fridays, because these took the internet by storm. Again, these were so popular, and they're still really popular. Like, these sell out all the time. So this is the Lip Butter Balm in like the light nude shade, and this is just so good. It's a little bit hard to swatch, but these are popular for a reason. I wore this so much. It's just such a beautiful, like, easy liquid lip balm to put on your lips. That's why they're so popular. I'm like, I'm not gonna love it. I knew I was gonna like it, but I love it. It is so good. And then the last lip oil I wanted to talk about is the one from Kaja. This one I wear a lot. I'm not in love with this one as much as the ones from Miko, but they're still really good. I didn't really love the NYX one as much as I loved this one, but this one is really good. I just said I didn't love it as much, but it's still really good, and I use it pretty much every single day to nourish my lips when I am doing my makeup. And I think that is pretty much everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. I would mention the M Cosmetics blushes, but I haven't hauled them yet, and I don't really like doing that, but they are incredible. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at SweetW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these products. Let me know what you think. I would love to know. Did you love them? Did you hate them? I need to know. So yeah, love you guys. Bye.